What you're about to hear is not funny, it's serious. Pastor Richards was found guilty by a jury in Charlotte, North Carolina. They were getting ready to take him to prison, and they gave him a few days to get his affairs in order. Marshals came to his house to pick him up and to take him to the federal penitentiary to check into the Bureau of Prisons.
Why?
It's because the church was out of compliance. They had a check writer that didn't know what the hell she was doing, and now he's in jail.
They should have called you.
Yeah, you need to make sure that you know what you're doing. If not, you'll wind up in serious trouble.
From coast to coast and around the world, you have the power to prosper. Welcome to The Power to Prosper with your host, Dr. H. Michael Chitwood. Dr. H. Michael Chitwood is one of the influential speakers of our time.
God is opening doors for those who can see. My question to you is, can you really see what God has for you?
Broadcasting live around the world, Dr. H. Michael Chitwood is a powerful, dynamic speaker who has helped thousands prosper according to God's Word.
You are perfect for your purpose. See, no one can take your place and no one can do what you're called to do. There is no substitute for you. You have been pre-planned for purpose.
Discover how you can prosper in every area of your life: finances, family, your job, your faith, health, and your entire life. Get ready for transformative insights, life-changing principles, and practical wisdom to unlock your full potential.
God loves to use ordinary people to do extraordinary things in this world.
Join us now and experience the power of prosperity with Dr. H. Michael Chitwood. Broadcasting live, this is The Power to Prosper.
Welcome, everyone, to the Power to Prosper show. I'm Ashley, and I'm here with the lovely Dr. Michael Chitwood and Dr. Shannon Cook. And today we have a special episode.
Yes.
If you are in the ministry, if you're a pastor, if you're working with a church, this episode is for you. It's very, very, very important, very serious topics we're going to say today. So please listen, because these guys are experts, over 100 years of experience with all of these things that you need to know about to make sure that your church and yourself are all in compliance. So why don't you take it away?
Thank you, Ashley, and welcome to the Power of the Prosper show today. This is probably one of the most serious shows that we have ever done in the history of Vision Broadcasting Network. It's not something that's going to be pleasant to your ears. It's not something that's going to make you feel good, but it's going to make you know that you need to do something, because what's coming is going to take away everything that you've ever worked for. Listen carefully. We have several different segments we're going to talk about. First of all, I want to talk about church compliance. We represent 8,211 churches, nonprofit ministries, and a few singing groups. And all of these are 501c3s. They're in order. The churches that we represent are in order. But here's what you need to know. There's 87,000 brand new IRS agents that's been hired that's coming after churches, nonprofits. They're trying to take away their 501c3. They're trying to take away their tax exempt status so that you can't continue to do what you do. Now, the reason for that is simple. It's because you don't pay any income tax on your income of your church, the tithes and the offerings. You don't pay any real estate taxes. Many states don't make you pay sales tax. So there's a lot of tax revenue out there that the government sees that they won't. Why? One reason, we're very much in debt. Now, what have you seen happening on this side? Have you seen preachers go to prison too?
Yes, they go to prison because they don't have the administrative house in order. They don't have the financial house in order. And the people that they have over the finances in the church, the only thing they know how to do is write a check, but they don't know the laws.
So what we're talking about here is a check writer. Now, the preacher that was at the top of this show went to prison, and he was convicted by a jury of 12 people in Charlotte, North Carolina at the federal court level. And they sentenced him to 7 years and 2 months in the federal penitentiary. And I know what you're saying. I've heard it 1,000 times. Well, that will never happen to me. If you're a preacher, pastor, check writer, trustee, deacon, that will never happen to me because I'm covered by the blood. I've heard that 1,000 times. He even said that to me at the beginning. It's a good thing he wasn't my client. If he had been my client, he wouldn't be in prison now with a prison ministry. So the check writer did things wrong that affected the personal tax return of the pastor. So therefore, if your check writer is just a check writer and she doesn't know church accounting or church law, guess what? You could have things wrong with your tax return when you took it to your tax preparer and your tax return has been done wrong accidentally. But I just have one word for you today on television, watching 330 million households, 100 countries. I want to ask you one question. If you get killed accidentally or if you get killed intentionally, you're still dead.
Wow.
So it doesn't make any difference if the check writer says, oh, pastor, I'm sorry. Oh, sir, oh, trustee, I'm real sorry. I'm crying. I didn't mean to do that. Can I help you? Can I feed your family while you're in jail? If you get killed accidentally or if you get killed intentionally, you're still dead.
Yes.
And what my job is to help you get your church in compliance. And compliance is a big factor in it.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be in compliance because, I mean, like you're saying, that pastor, he didn't think that was ever going to happen to him.
No. You know what? Actually, he said those very words. And he said, when he hired us, he said, I don't think there's anything wrong, but he just hired us too late.
That's so sad, too, because, you know, there all these pastors out here, if you're a pastor and you're watching, like, we know your heart and we know that you love the people and you want to be there and be out there and you're just going to ruin so many things in your whole entire life and your purpose by just making one simple mistake. One simple mistake could cost you everything.
And they say ignorance is no excuse.
Ignorance is no excuse. And I'll tell you, cheap advice is expensive. You normally pay for what you get. You got some free check writer, some free bookkeeper, and she's doing it wrong and not paying her. And you say, oh, she's just a volunteer. Yeah, cheap advice is expensive. You normally pay for what you get. I like what Ashley said. I want you to talk about it just briefly.
Yes.
And that is, she says, one mistake,
yes,
your heart. Just think about it. You start a ministry from the ground. I know a man in New Jersey. He started a ministry with 3 people. I represented him. 3 people. He started a ministry with 3 people in the AMVET Center. He called me the first thing and says, can you set me up right? We set him up right, and he grew to be 5,000 members. There's a biblical principle here. In Matthew, I think it's Matthew, find out if it is. In Matthew, it says, if I can learn to just trust you with a few small things, then I can know that I can trust you with great big things. Hey, when we come back, you're going to hear something that you've never heard before. Stay tuned. The Power to Prosper will be right back with Ashley, Dr. Cook, and myself. We'll see you in just a minute. To whom much is given, much is required. My family and I have helped churches get their books in order for over 100 years. My father once told me, son, what could be better than helping a man of God or a woman of God who is always helping so many others? God has called and anointed our family to help pastors and ministers stay in compliance with the rapidly changing IRS guidelines. Call right now, 800-344-0076, or just go to cmtc.org and find out how that we can help you.
Call Michael Chitwood. Call his ministry today. Let him help you. Let him bring the years of experience to your church and to you personally. Let me add this about your church. I'm amazed at how many churches are not in compliance. You know, I go somewhere and speak, and I have to call and ask them for a 1099 so that I can keep my own books in order. You better be careful and make sure that not only your personal taxes, but your church situation's in line. Dr. Chitwood has all the experts, all the gifts, and all the material and all the information to make sure everything in your church is in order. And by the way, there are a few other ministries and accountants that do this kind of work, but I promise you they won't do it at the cost effectiveness that Chitwood will. So let me encourage you right now to do what Ron Phillips wishes he'd done 25 years ago. Call Michael Chitwood. Call him today.
Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Chitwood. I'm the CEO and President of Church Management and Tax Conference. The Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. My family and I have helped churches get their books in order for over 100 years. That's a long time. I can't tell you how many pastors and ministers we have saved from a federal prison ministry. I'm talking about from the inside, too. My team and I have traveled around the United States, and we have taught tax conferences or nonprofit and law tax conferences for years. See, God has called me and anointed me. That's the difference. I'm anointed to help pastors and ministers stay in compliance with this rapidly changing IRS guidelines. It's a lot. My father has always told me, Michael, what could be better than helping a man or God who is always helping so many other people? That's true. I want you to call 800-344-0076, or you can go to cmtc.org and find out how that I can help you. We want to help you get your church in order, and I believe to whom much is given, much is required. And remember this, God cannot bless a mess.
Welcome back, everyone, to this special edition of the Power to Prosper show, where you have some experts on the couch here today sharing some very important knowledge with you. So again, if you are in the ministry, if you are a pastor, if you are working with a church, if you have friends, give them a call. Ring them up right now and tell them they need to get to vbntv.org and they need to watch this special edition show because it is so important. So we were talking about, the pastor that just went to jail and how you don't even realize that you're not in compliance until it's too late. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, we was talking about Pastor Richards, who went to federal penitentiary because he was convicted in Charlotte, North Carolina by a jury. And he came from a city around there, and the church was about 700 people. That's a good-sized church these days.
Oh, yes, sir.
That church, because the newspaper and the Charlotte Observer dropped all the way down to 125 people. That's a big drop.
Big drop.
And they have expenses. Their expenses didn't drop. His salary didn't drop. Everything dropped. And when it dropped, it caused the church to go into bankruptcy. The family lost the house. They lost the cars. The families now are moved in with their parents and their in-laws just to try to survive. It's much more serious. And here's the problem that we have, Ashley and Dr. Cook, is these pastors, they don't seem to think that it's ever going to happen to them. They're violating love offering rules, pastor anniversary rules, third Sunday rules, Easter rules, Christmas love offerings, all of these love offerings that they're violating. They think it never happens to them.
Yes.
But it's so sad because one day somebody's going to get mad, especially under the new Whistleblowers Act, which they can pick up the phone, call an 800 number to the IRS. They don't even have to identify themselves. Just give them the violations, and the IRS has the option to look into that and see if it's a red flag violation. If it is, you could be audited. I mean, it's the same thing that happens to churches all throughout your state.
And the sad part about it, Dr. Chitwood, is a lot of the people that's turning the pastors in are board members.
Yeah.
Because these pastors think that these board members are going to be with them through thick and thin, not realizing if they're offended, they can just pick up the phone, call the IRS, and next thing you know, they're investigating.
Yeah. I want you to contact Chitwood and Chitwood. Write that down. It's on your screen right now. Chitwood and Chitwood at 800-225-5849 and ask to speak to one of my executive professionals. At least call and ask some questions about what you're doing to get a guideline if what you're doing could be wrong.
Yeah.
We're not saying everybody's wrong, but I'm telling you right now, the IRS says that 82% of all churches in America are out of order.
That's a big
that's
number.
a lot of
That's
people.
a big
And Dr.
number.
Chitwood, they can't keep up with all these updates
They
that
can't keep up.
coming out.
Yeah.
So you need to go to cmtc.org, get connected with us, because these updates come out, we get them, and we can inform you and keep you up to date so we can keep you out of jail.
Yeah, we do 100 and something, almost 200 CMTC seminars a year.
Oh, yes. You have got to get to one of those. I mean, if you don't know this information, what an easy way to find it out.
Yeah.
Go to cmtc.org, find out when one of these conferences is coming up, get there and learn what you need to learn from the best. Why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, and the conference layout, just so you know, is you come to the conference. When you come to the conference, we have some food there for you to eat before we start. You get your notebook, your name tag, you take your seat, and then we start teaching you up until about 10:30. There's a break. And then at lunch, we serve you a beautiful lunch, a hot, beautiful lunch, not a sandwich in a bag, but a hot, beautiful lunch. We start back at 1 o'clock. We go to 2 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, you get a big, beautiful dessert. And then at 4 o'clock, the conference is over. And if you attended the entire conference, you get your certified certificate that you attended this, and it's worth 7 CPE units. We cover a lot of subjects. Housing allowance has changed.
Yeah.
A lot of preachers think they can take all housing and zero salary. You know that guy in St. Louis just went to prison about, what, 5-6 months ago, something like that. He was taking all housing allowance and no salary. The IRS says that's income tax evasion, sent him to prison for 7 years.
Jeez.
So therefore, it's not what you know that will hurt you.
It's what you don't
And you know, Ashley, we're not trying to scare people, but it's not what you know that will hurt you. We're passionate about this. This is our ministry. Our firm, Chitwood and Chitwood, has done this for 100 years. This is not new to us. We all care about you. We care about your church. We want you to grow. We want you to keep getting people saved, delivered, set free, and grow your church.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. And so we attend 100 conferences a year. We put them on. You get everything that you need there. I want you to make sure that you get to one of these conferences. The CMTC.org should be on your screen. Let me give it to you again. CMTC.org. And let me just give you a phone number just in case you missed that CMTC.org. It's 800-344-0076. It's on the screen. Call us and talk to our representative. You don't even have to register. We're a ministry. Call and ask your questions, whatever they may be. Did you know that one pastor and his church writer went to prison because they were giving checks out for benevolence that wasn't benevolence?
Wow.
Hey, when we come back, I'm going to tell you what this famous preacher did with his mother when she went to a nursing home and how he kept her up in a nursing home and called it benevolence. It was a crime, and they went to jail. I'll tell you about it when we come back. Is that okay?
Wow.
Yep.
God looked down on his planned paradise, earth. He saw the condition of fallen man and their need to hear the gospel, so he created a minister. God said, I need someone to get up before dawn and pray for the souls of men and the peace of the nations. So God created a minister. God needed someone to intercede for this great nation and their families. So God created a minister. God said, I need someone who will stay up all night with the sick, comfort grieving families, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, have a vision to reap the harvest of souls around the world. So God created a minister. God needed someone to preach about the cattle on 1,000 hills, someone to reveal his goodness and mercy. So God created a minister. God needed someone to go into all the earth to preach the gospel to every man, woman, boy, and girl. So God created a minister. God said, I need someone who is willing to plow and not look back until the earth has yielded its precious fruit. Someone who would not quit until every seed sown has been harvested. So God created a minister. God needed someone to preach the importance of family, the power of prayer, the love of God and the love of thy neighbor. So God created a minister. So as the minister went forth until his eyes were dim, he prayed for his son to be like him. So God created ICCM.
Hello, I am Dr. Shannon Cook, and I want to invite you to the most powerful church and compliance conference in the nation. We are coming to your city. We would love to meet you and have you join us for a day of empowerment and inspiration. Now's the time for you to join the thousands of ministers who have taken the steps to protect what God has called them to lead. Register for a conference in a city near you.
Dr. Chitwood is a phenomenal man. He has this knowledge, a wealth of knowledge that he pours into you constantly. He's constantly teaching you what you can do and what you can achieve.
What it means to me to have Dr. Chitwood as a life coach is invaluable. I mean, he's there constantly. He's completely approachable.
Well, this conference has made a tremendous impact on my life because now I'm actually walking in my destiny. You know, I see myself doing what it is that God has called me to do, and I know how to fulfill that.
He also helps us to visualize what our life can be like. He teaches you, if you want to change your life, I have to change the way you think.
What he's given us as a mentor, okay, so that we can go further in our lives, okay, and become and reach that millionaire status, okay. And I believe that we all can do that, and we have it in us. But I believe that I have it in me, and that's the most important thing to me.
It's phenomenal. You know, rarely do you get somebody that's wealthy to mentor you, but a billionaire to take you to a different level, and it's life-changing. I can walk up to him and ask him a question, discuss something with him. You can't go up to Richard Branson and do that, but you can go do that with Dr. Chitwood, so it's been phenomenal.
It changed my life because this is the first time I coming here. And Dr. Michael Chitwood teach me everything, and he changed me.
Welcome back, everyone, to the special edition. We are talking about some very serious stuff here.
Yeah.
And again, if you are in the ministry, watch this, stick around until this whole thing's over because you don't want to miss any of this information. Before we took a break, you were talking about how a pastor had put his mother in a nursing home and then went to jail because of it. And I'm just all kinds of confused because I don't have any idea how that even happened. I mean, how could the government do something like that?
How could the government put a pastor in prison for putting his mother in a nursing home?
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand. What do you mean?
That's cruel?
That's cruel.
Well, I'll tell you how he did it. It's pretty sneaky, by the way, and pretty creative. He's got a ministry, a 501c3. His mother's nursing home bill was $4,000 a month.
Wow.
He wrote a check from the ministry, from his church, to the nursing home for $4,000 for his mother's his mother's first name was Ruth, and on the check he had the check writer to put benevolence and needy families. You can't pay for your mother's nursing home and call it benevolence and needy families. Do you know why he did it? Because he didn't want to pay tax on it.
Wow.
What he should have done is just increased his salary, paid the tax, and paid the nursing home bill himself. But he didn't do that. So there's a lot of ways and a lot of finagling that's going on, and the IRS knows these tricks now. Listen, a couple of things. If you feel like in your heart that you want to become an ordained minister of the gospel, either a woman or a man, you can do that through ICCM. This is free of charge. All you have to do is let me know at vbntv.org or iccm.org, and I'll send this to you free. You need this. It's free of charge. There's no charge for this. This should be on the screen. Also, if you want to become a programmer on the Vision Broadcasting Network at vbntv.org, I will send this to you free of charge. There's no charge. Isn't that beautiful?
That is very pretty. It's beautiful.
Yes.
I'm right there.
Well, of course. Of course you're there. I wouldn't leave you out. You can have this free of charge. We want you to be a programmer. And by the way, the Lord told me that souls are more important than profit. We gave back all the money that we charged. It was a lot of money.
A lot of money,
I
yeah.
could have made a lot of money off of Vision Broadcasting Network TV. But the Lord told me to let everybody that has a program come on and air or broadcast their program at no cost.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
$0. You know, you really have such a good heart for the people. I mean, think about it. All of these programs and all of these things that you do that you're offering for people is stuff that nobody else is doing.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it costs money. All this production that we're doing right here costs money. This is
Yes.
not free.
Yes.
They don't work for free.
No. And
They
then,
get paid.
Yeah, and then the programmers that come on, you just have to produce your program.
Yeah.
And we will put your program on, and it's going to go all around the world.
These accomplishments right here of what God has allowed us to do, I want to send this to you free of charge. There's no charge for this. And then if you are interested in Chitwood and Chitwood, doing your books, your financial and your legal, your bylaws, your 501c3, setting up your books in the proper way. It's not that expensive. Most churches pay us about $200 a month. That's
it?
$7 a day for us to do everything.
That's it?
That's it.
Because I didn't know how much
That's
it cost.
it.
That's crazy.
But the problem you've got is that preachers are cheap. Most
Oh, my
preachers have a cheap
gosh.
mentality, and they don't put the value on getting their house of worship in order, because we know that God is a God of order. We know that.
Listen, $200 a day, not a day, $200 even a day, $200 a month to make sure that you're not going to go to jail.
Yeah.
And to make sure that all of your stuff is correct and in order, which it should be anyway. As you guys are always saying, God does not bless a mess.
That's right.
And so
Good.
it's like, that's a no-brainer to me.
And you know, Ashley, what you're saying is just perfect, and it's absolutely correct, because we want your house of worship to be in order. I'll tell you what the latest commissioner said. He said, your church is nothing but a business. You take money in, you pay money out. That's what a business does.
Yes.
The only difference is we're getting people saved, and we're getting people introduced to the greatest thing on the face of the earth, and that is the salvation and the Lord Jesus Christ. That's what we do. But we still take money in, we pay money out. He said you're a business. In fact, he said you shouldn't even be tax exempt. You should be paying tax.
Yes.
Now we're fighting that, and we think that that's gonna stay like it is. But in case it's not, you better get your house in order. Let me give you an address: Chitwoods at chitwoods.com. Be sure you put an S on that. It's CHITWOODS. Chitwoods at chitwoods.com. And the number is 800-225-5849. That number and that address is on that screen there for you right there. You can also tell us in that address that you want all these free publications.
Yes.
And we'll send you all these free publications free of charge. And finally, if you want the brand new housing allowance request rules, I'm going to send you the new RHA, which is Request for Housing Allowance. There are now 12 things that you can get free of charge, because housing allowance is not subject to tax if you spend all that you get on housing. There's one state that makes you pay state income tax on it, and that's the state of Pennsylvania. Other than that, all the other states, you don't pay income tax with the federal government, and you don't pay income tax with the state. Tax-free money, baby.
Hey,
That's
hey,
what
you
I'm
can't
talking
beat that.
about.
Yeah.
So finally the government gives us a break. And listen, the IRS is not as bad as you think they are, because Congress passed all these laws, not the IRS. The IRS is just the state trooper to carry them out. So if you're mad at anybody, be mad at your congressman or congresswoman. So what do you say, Dr. Cook?
I'd say you need to go to cmtc.org, connect with us, get to one of these conferences. Dr. Chitwood has hundreds of seminars every year. So you need to get to the CMTC conference so that you can get this information.
Yeah, and you know what? You have anything you want to say?
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. You know, there's no reason not to.
That's right.
Well, I have a suggestion. If you really want your church to have the power to prosper.
That's good.
That's
if
good.
you want your church to have the power to prosper. I believe the Lord just dropped that in my spirit, because I hadn't heard that before.
That's good.
If you want your church to have the power to prosper, then get your house in order. And remember, you need to make sure every T is crossed and every I is dotted. They're going to come back and get you. Listen, thank you for being with us on the Power to Prosper today. We're Ashley, Dr. Cook. We just simply say, you have
the power to prosper.
We'll see you next time on a special edition.
Thanks for watching The Power to Prosper. Contact us at vbntv.org and check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/vbnTVORG. And be sure to join us next time on The Power to Prosper.